Alright guys, it is 1980 Regal update time. As you can see, the car's come quite a ways from the last video. It is running really nice. I've got it pretty well tuned. I've got exhaust put on it. Did my own at-home front end alignment. Got it pretty dang close. It drives okay. I mean, it's not where it needs to be exactly because it's not a frame machine here, but anyway, I'm pretty happy. That's a 2020 sticker on the tag. It's in my name. It's insured. It's just not road ready yet. The dash I still have to put in. All my forward engine harness has to be put in, so I don't have any tail lights, brake lights, turn signals, or anything. But man, oh man, it is slowly coming together. Like every weekend I work on it, it gets closer. I don't have the front end completely bolted down. It just has a little bit of hardware in it, so the bottoms are not bolted on, so they rattle a little bit. But I have the engine pretty much completely tuned and done. It's been a hard road getting it there. For like a whole week I had to tune on it. You know, after work every day I'd work on it a couple of hours. But so anyway, I'm lacking interior and wiring to be able to get it out on the highway, which I think it's just about ready for, other than, you know, getting that stuff put in. I had planned on respraying my dash today and getting it put in and then getting my engine wiring harness in, but the rain has stopped me. If you've ever tried to do any kind of trim painting or any kind of paint with a flattening agent in it, it just, if it's moisture in the air, it'll turn it white. You'll get like a white foggy look in your part you're painting. At least it does it around here anyway. But anyway, so I guess I'm gonna have to wait till a sunny day to get my dash sprayed. But anyway, I got a half a gallon mixed at my local paint store, and I actually took a tan interior piece in I've got tan lower door panels, and I took the door panel over there. They scanned it and it got it in the ballpark, and then the guy actually spent the time and dialed it in, you know, toning it and getting it where he needed it. I was very happy. He dabbed a little piece, a little spot on the panel I took, and after it dried, he dried it with a heat gun. You couldn't tell where he put it. That's how good he got it. So I'm very happy. The cool part is, I told him I wanted a half a gallon of it, and it's it is actually trim paint that you put in a little mini touch-up gun and shoot on. So by the time he got done toning it and getting it exactly right, I've got 3/4 of a gallon. I only paid for a half gallon, but I got 3/4 of a gallon. So I've got enough trim paint to redo my dash, my steering column, my steering wheel. Now this is not the stuff I'm using. I've got a Grand National steering wheel I'll be using, and I've got another column I'll be using. This one's the tilt part's loose on it. Now I've tightened these before. It's just a little labor intensive once you get in there. I do have the tools to do it, but I've got another column here that's nice and it's tight, so I'm just going to use it. This one is just to temporarily drive it. But anyway, I've got a lot of my interior panels that I have for the car, different colors obviously. I've got like gray and blue and shell gray, and it's just a multitude. So I'm going to have to trim paint a lot of the stuff. The console, I'm doing a lot of Grand National inspired touches to this car. I've got tan lower door panels, but I'm going to do a black carpeted inlay. And I also have these. I actually reupholstered these myself and repainted and touched up the little logo there. But anyway, these go on the lower door panels up there. I'm also respraying the lower section of the console black, just like a Grand National, because I like that. Instead of having all tan interior, it'll have a breakup in it, you know. And I've got black carpet for it as well. Now, I know I'm not driving a Grand National. This thing is way away from being a Grand National. It never will be. I just like the Grand National aspects. I've had 4 of those cars, 87s, and I like them. Some of the stuff they did, you know, I wanted to do that just to kind of upgrade this one a little bit. Anyway, let's put your seatbelts on, guys. Now that rattling you're hearing is those lower front fenders rattling around up there with this cam. not going to bolt some fenders on until I get the inner fenders in the car. It is obnoxious, I know, but it is what it is. Like I said, I don't have any brake lights, turn signals, headlights, I don't have anything, so if I get pulled over in my housing edition, let's just hope the cop's pretty cool. Because I am videoing while I'm doing this, which is really stupid. There's not a whole lot of traffic here going on, so I'm just going to go around the block here. I've got the tranny set up where it's a little bit tight on the cable, so it winds up a little tighter to shift, and it shifts a little more firm. It's just the way I like to set up my 204Rs and my 700R4s. Bog when I put the Holly on because the quarter jet wouldn't work on this with this camshaft, so I put a Holly 600 on that I had here. It had a bog in it when you get off the brake and hit the gas, so I took put a vacuum gauge on it like you're supposed to, and I had my wife put her foot on the brake and hold it in gear, and took a vacuum reading, which it was showing 13 in gear. So what you do is you cut that vacuum number in half, and that's how you size your power valve in your Hollys. So this one had a 6.5 in it, which is exactly what it needed with that vacuum reading in gear. I still had a bog, so what I did was I drilled out my squirter size. I didn't have the money to go buy a new squirter, so I went from the 31 stock, I drilled it out to a 35, and it took the bog out of it. The other day when I was test driving, I got a little brave on the other side of my housing edition here, and took my foot off the brake and hit the throttle, and it lit up the tires. I mean, this is not a race car, don't get me wrong, but it does run pretty good for what's here. But anyway, there's your test drive. I'll let you hear the exhaust back here. It probably sounds totally crappy in this cell phone. I'm just using my Samsung phone here. I got to do tailpipe brackets back here. I'll have to build them and put them on. Other than that, the exhaust system's pretty well done. I did start taking the trim off the bottom of the car. You probably noticed that. I'm going to go ahead and fix some of the stuff in the car on the body and get the rust repair done. Fix this big dent and get all this where the trim used to be all repaired. Now I'm going to go ahead and primer it. And just because it looks so crappy in all these colors, and the hood I have for it's gray. It's a turbo hood, so it has a little bulge, but it's just going to suck driving it with a multitude of colors. So I think primer, just one color primer, it'll look all right. At least it'll look like I've been working on it, but this car has come a long way, and I am very, very proud. The fact is I saved this car from getting crushed. It was legitimately getting crushed. I had bought the doors off this car. I'd mentioned this before. I bought the doors off of this car, planning on using them on a turbo Buick Century Aero I've got here, but come to find out later the doors did not fit that car, so I never did go pick them up off of this car. It was in a salvage. I've actually bought parts off of this car, and a friend of mine has bought parts off of this car at this same salvage for his G-body project. So when the salvage yard owner called me and said I needed to come get my doors because he's crushing the car. Now there was nothing left of it pretty much at that point. So when I went over and looked at the car, I just couldn't let it get crushed, So I went ahead and saved it. I know that 78 to 80 body style is not for everybody, but for me, as my first car was a 79, and what's really cool is when I walk out, like into the garage, and I turn around and come back out, I see this. This is my first car. This header, the brown, that's exactly what I see as my first car. So I think that's really neat, because the car's an 80 and I put a 79 header on it because I wanted my high school car back, But, I mean, it's a long way away from being my high school car. It's, I'm going to paint this car and I'm going to do it nice. I'm going to take it back off the frame later and paint the frame and, have the interior done and do it nice. It's just, this is a bad time right now. My wife got laid off a few months ago from work. She is starting a new job Monday, so hopefully things will get a little bit better for us, because in these last couple months it's been pretty tight. I haven't been able to spend money on things that I usually would, you know. But it's kind of hard to build a car when you ain't got money. It is funny because I literally counted quarters out of my stash of quarters in the house the other day to buy a little part for this car at the parts store. So you got to do what you got to do sometimes. But my old truck, man, it is really rattling on the bottom end, so I'm really worried about that engine. So I need this car quickly. So I did get it all tagged up and everything, and that really kind of killed me. But I've still got a few more little small parts to buy, and like I said, I need to paint the dash. But it's getting there, guys, and I guess I actually might go ahead and start on that rust repair on that quarter. But I'll try to get a video later of that if I work on it. Just depends on the rain, because it's looking pretty rough outside, like it might start raining any minute. But anyway, if you have not seen the video of this car from where it was when I found it, it's definitely worth checking out. Underneath this video, click on Half Rod's Builds, and then click on Videos and scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see it. It's called My New Pile, and all you'll see basically is the back half of the car. But I saved it, you know, and I'm proud of that. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed your test drive.